So moving on with Kane and Abel, they released their second album with No Limit, Am I My Brother's Keeper, on July the 7th, 1998, with No Limit on Priority Records. A lot of people remember it with the green cover and case, especially that time of edition and series. Produced by Beats by the Pound, and the single after this one was Time After Time.
Yeah.
Which they say peaked at number 18 on the Hot Rap Singles chart. So the album itself peaked at number 5 on the Billboard 200 and number 1 on the top R&B and hip hop album chart. And it was certified gold. So it was definitely a huge improvement and more of a success than its predecessor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even the single itself hitting the charts. But it was their last album with No Limit, but I think for a lot of fans, their most memorable and possibly their favorite.
Yeah. Definitely.
You know, the album kicks off heavy and strong with the single Time After Time featuring Master P and Odell. Classic sample. I mean, in terms of single, I'm not sure if it's one that I would have picked with the array of songs that were on this album. I mean, I could see kind of going for that if you say you want to go for that commercial sort of sound and play, but
yeah, they had so much other songs where I think I was thinking that today. I was listening to sometimes a lot of No Limit albums, like the singles what they picked, I would never pick them for the single for the album because they had so much other bangers. But I guess that was the kind of the Time After Time. I think they were going for that. It's a well-known song, and you know.
Yeah, you know, I think, you know, it's something that I guess comes up quite frequently when we cover on these series. People dive in and say they feel as though the songs that were picked for the single weren't the strongest. I mean, for you guys listening, definitely let us know in the comments what you would have picked for the single. I mean, Time After Time, it was still a strong song. I liked it. It was a nice song to start the album with and stuff as well, because a lot of the times we're used to the albums being kicked off with like rowdy songs or soldier songs, nice melodic song. And then to keep it melodic, the second track, This Is For The Smokers featuring Fiend, was, you know, excuse the pun, smoking. That track was hot, you know, smoking trap. I mean, it's a smoking trap, man.
Yeah. Beat hard as well.
Yep. The beat, type production, it was just kind of, to me, all the songs on this album were like a prelude to the next track, because This Is For My Smokers was a nice track, but it was short, you know, 2 minutes, 27. It didn't feel that short because it was dope, you know, especially how Kane Abel kicked it out with the lyrics and stuff as well on that beat. But then the third track, Trying to Have Something, was, you know, still keeping an up-tempo feel, bouncy. It had Master P, Fiend, Moby Dick. I thought that track was crazy. I thought that could have probably been a single.
Yeah, definitely. Even Master P with his... his chorus.
Yep.
Yo, that would have been a bad boy single. Like, yo, that definitely would have been the best single off the album.
You got Moby on the chorus, you got Fiend, you got Kane Abel killing it, smoking, you got P killing it, smoking, you know.
And it had an atmosphere, that song itself had an atmosphere where you could see a video. It was just mad.
Yeah, that's a fact. I mean, speaking of atmospheric, the next track after that would be Soldier Story, which some people would criticize as it being a remake of a Tupac song in a sense. Yeah. And I mean, you know, we know a lot of people do variations and kind of cover tracks and stuff and put their own spin on it. I guess how some people may feel about it in terms of the artists and production, the producers, sometimes it might differ, but I didn't necessarily have a problem with this track. I kind of enjoyed listening to it.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm a big Tupac fan, you know.
Sometimes you're going to look at it as a tribute, like, you know. I feel like the industry was a bit anti-Tupac at them times as well, to make it even worse. Like, at some point, you know what I mean? So they didn't really... Everybody else could have a tribute, but, you know, they didn't really like when people was, you know, putting him up in high regards.
Yeah, I know one thing Reggie Wright spoke on in a previous interview, that he felt as though when some people say tributes, they should actually make it a tribute, because
true.
Say for some of the listeners, they may listen to it, and if they don't hear anything on it,
they think it's the first one.
They think it's an original song. So I guess
agree with that.
Some credence to that, you know.
Definitely.
I mean, it was a dope track. Moving on to track 5, Throw Them Things Tight, you know, made out of pistols. KL, you know, featuring Magic and C Meta.
Yeah.
Beat, you know, just gunshots going off completely. Rowdy as F, you know. I mean,
rowdy tune.
Kane Abel killing it with the lyrics and the back and forth wordplay. And, you know, just one thing about Kane Abel, like, they were East Coast, you know, sounding to a degree. So they could get on those emotional beats and those melodic beats, the gritty beats, but you put them on those rowdy beats and they was turning the hell up just like everybody else too, man. They weren't no joke.
Definitely. Most definite.
You know, track number 6, Out of Town Bees featuring Snoop Dogg. You know, it was always kind of a cool little track.
Yeah, that's how I looked at it, as like a cool, yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you the funny thing about this track is I know everybody has a different slang and different vernacular, and to a degree, a lot of it is merged nowadays in different places where people are saying the same things to emphasize stuff. Like you'd even hear people in the UK saying "hella now," or people here saying that, you know, using certain words and references. But this track could be one of the first times I heard a rapper reference Snoop Dogg, where he was saying he's the new person on the block, so he gets all the cock. Now, that cock references some kind of pause, you know, reference on the West Coast, not meaning what, you know, it would sound like. So what I was thought that was a unique reference on that track, courtesy of Mr. Snoop Dogg. So track number 7, Ghetto Day. One of my favorite tracks on the album.
One of my favorites. That's like, for me, probably one of the favorites, one of the best songs they did. And like, I think that should have been a video as well. This song should have been a video, like, brilliant song. Even the girl who was singing on it, man, it's like, you know, and even the way that the song ended, like, true soldiers gonna ride for you. Like, bro, this song is, it's one of them songs I play it and I'll rewind and I'll put it back on again.
Very visual, very emotive, very real, you know, as you said, even the vocals as well, that the singer, I believe her name D. Marshall, it says here credited, she put it down, and it was a nice lead up into the next track, which was Stress, which was also another dope track. Kane Abel killed, you know, just being able to encapsulate the goings on of the hood and just how certain things are stressing them out, and putting that down on wax, that was a tight track, man. Yeah,
definitely.
After that, we have We Don't Care, which was another banger with the No Limit feel. Put your hood in these sets in the air. Yeah. Motherfucking like traffic comprehensive capital to support. We have it, you know, Kevin. I'm running so fast, they're kicking it, you know. So,
but you know what? I like the beginning part when he was saying is like, you know, we don't really want to do tunes like this, but this is what you guys be pushing.
Yeah, they, you know, I like the talking and stuff they did. Well, you know, the characters that they brought out on this album, just in the voices and just the intros and the talking and stuff was, as you said, man, it added those extra dimensions.
Yeah, man, definitely.
The next track after that, The Game, slamming track with Fiend. How you gonna tell me about The Game?
When it broke it down. Yo, I feel like, and that's another song, I play it back again.
Yeah.
That's another song where we put it back on repeat. The way he breaks it down, man, brilliant.
Fiend, you know, capital F-I, always a standout in his feature.
Yeah, always. Hard worker. I heard allegedly, like, he was always in the studio. Like, that's why he was always on so many people's tracks, because he just stayed in the studio and just worked non-stop.
Yeah, I mean, there would be a lot of credence to that, you know. Track number 11, another one of my favorites on the album, featuring the late great Soulja Slim and Mystical Silk the Shocker. Watch, man.
Crazy. Yeah. How can the downtown tell the uptown is fake? Yo, Soulja Slim killed it.
Slim killed that. Slim Mystical killed it. Slim killed it.
Everybody, even Silk.
Silk killed it. Yeah, you know.
Everybody was on point on that day.
And, you know, definitely, and that's like 11 tracks in. You think that last album was, you know, rounding off around this mark, but this album, banger for banger, going in. to track number 11, and then track number 12, Only God Knows, another deep track. Now, I know some people give criticism and say they felt it had too many deep tracks, which I don't think is an apt criticism, but,
I think it's kind of balanced.
Featuring all that. I think it's a balance with all the rowdy stuff, and to have 23 tracks in total, I think it's a good balance how they, sort of separated them amidst all the, rowdy stuff. Because, you're playing the album, you don't necessarily want to go from hearing about busting somebody's head straight into, maybe something out. But it can be, if it's done right and, just with the right sort of blend between the tracks. Like even going from Watch Me to this, I think it worked, and they kept it a mellow vibe after that with track 13, Call Me When You Need Some, featuring P Silk and Sons of Funk, which was another dope track, could have potentially been like a single for the ladies,
Yo, what even my ex, whenever he used to put that on, trouble time.
Definitely one for the playlist at that, and 14, No Limit Niggas featuring C Murder and Fiend, which was pretty much what the title says, No Limit Niggas, and they were letting you know that No Limit Niggas are who they are and what they do, and representing that tank. Speaking of representing that tank, track 15, another dope one featuring Soulja Slim and also the Hound Full Blooded, Back That Combat.
Yeah, Hound Full Blooded and Soulja Slim together, they always rip the track.
Yeah, game tight, man.
Yeah.
They came game tight on that. And then, 16, No Turning Back featuring Fiend. Fiend making his presence known again, another dope track. It seemed kind of shorter than it actually was.
Yeah, it did.
It's the track itself isn't necessarily a short track, but it's well put together, and it leads into the next track quite well, which is Better Kill Me, which I always like the flows that those guys put down on this one.
Yeah. Changed up the style on this. Yeah. And I think it blended from the Fiend one, holding back to that song. It was just a nice blend.
Yeah, definitely, man. They were capturing the mood. And I think, as you said, changing the style, that kind of happened slightly with the album as it was going towards the end. Some of the styles started changing up slightly. But after that track, they went back to knocking out another dope track with Snoop Dogg, which I always thought was dope. Very short, 2 minutes 49, From My Hood to Your Hood, but the beat was knocking. Snoop's verse was hot, and they had Snoop was. Did Snoop have the verse, or Snoop just did the hook on some ad-libs?
ad-libs.
Yeah, and they kicked it off with the dope verse.
Yeah, even he was
tapes, cook 'em up.
Yeah. You know the piece sitting down. Remember that part?
Yeah.
That's big tune.
So they killed that, man. And then track 19, I'm on My Brother's Keeper, was a little skip.
Yeah.
Moving nicely into track 20, Gangstafied Forever, which I always thought was dope. It was like a second take of Gangstafied with Odell, Silk, and Sev. I think Sev at this time was breaking out the spelling, and laying down that sort of style. Silk laid down a tight verse. Kane Abel killed it. I think everybody on this track killed it.
Definitely.
I mean, would you prefer the first Gangstafied or this one?
You know what?
I don't know if it qualifies as a Gangstafied too, but
I prefer the first one.
Okay.
I like this one because it's more like a reggae feel. This one had a little bit of a reggae kind of and the bass line, but the first one was just more. I don't know, like especially when you're rocking it in the tune, like in the car and that, and the bass line. It's just the bass line, Moby, and the way you planted the bass line in the first one.
Yeah. Okay. And track 21, to me, another one of the dopest tracks on the album. Could have been a single.
Yeah.
I mean, No Limit. He had his rowdy share of rowdy.
One of the best verses he ever did.
P wasn't on this one.
Oh, see, I think the other one. I think it's like Corn Beds and Cabbages.
Yeah, P had his share of rowdy tracks, I should say. But I was more saying for Let's Go Get Him, it could have been a single.
Oh yeah, Let's Go Get Him.
It was a rowdy. Not too rowdy, but it was catchy. It was gangster. It was street. It had Slimmy killed it, Matt killed it, Big Ed killed it, Fiend killed it, Mia killed it.
That should have been a single as well.
So that could have been. And Soulja Slim made quite a few dope appearances on this album, which it's like one of the albums that is quite heavily featured on. as a featured artist, which is dope. So the track you was talking about is track 22, Greens, Cornbread and Cabbage. Now, there's actually 2 versions of this. Another one could be found out online somewhere with a verse from Fiend. And but this one on the album version, Master P, Prime Suspects, Moby Dick, Kane Abel, obviously.
Yeah.
I think they all killed it. Even Prime Suspects, I remember talking to Uzi and he was saying that, you know, they all had like a little, whether it was like 8 bars or something, they had to break up between them as a group or something. So a few bars each. But when you think about having so much artists on the track, it's not overinflated. Everybody gets to kind of say their piece and bring something special and unique to this track, I think.
Yeah, definitely. It's like P definitely at the beginning caught the, because I was watching KLC and saying about P used to catch the Holy Ghost. You get me? He used to rap and that, like, definitely caught it in this tune.
Yeah, it's a fact, man. And, you know, definitely they laid that down, man. Some real player hustler shit. And track 23, a nice way to even close the album, featuring C Murder also. I Ain't Running, another banger. Quite a short track. After listening to so many tracks and then even the track before it being like 5 minutes plus, I always thought it was kind of a short track to close the album. Yeah. Maybe it could have been a bit longer, but nonetheless, I wasn't complaining. The track Smoking. You know, maybe it could have been placed earlier in terms of just it being so short on the track, just to make sure people really able to digest it maybe earlier. But, you know, as we say, the album was stacked. It fit where it was. The only other place it could have probably fit was after track number 8, which would have been Stress, and then you could have put that there. And then We Don't Care after that. But I digress. C killed it. Kane Abel killed it. A nice way to end the album.
Definitely.
I mean, if this was the Source, what would you rank this album, Amara Brothers Keeper?
If I was the Source magazine, probably rank it 4.5, you know.
Okay.
I'll say high. I'll say 4.5.
Okay. So that's pretty high, you know.
Pretty high, man. Definitely, because it never really had any, like, it never had a weak track. If I was to say, you know, there's the only weak one, or probably the weakest one out of all the tracks, I would have said there's one, the first one, what they did with Snoop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's a rating, you know.
And that's even saying that, and that tune was a good tune, but also out of the weakest out of the whole selection, I'll definitely say 4.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, rank this one a 4. I think it was definitely solid. You know, close to being, you know, a complete. I think just in terms of maybe the length and, you know, the feature amount and stuff is why I wouldn't put it to a 5. Not to take nothing away from the album, but just, you know, but I'd give it like a solid 4. And, you know, Kane Abel, definitely one of their best albums, I'd say, if not their best album.
Yeah.
No Limit.